as everyone's starting to come in. Hi, everyone. My name is Naseem Nozertash. I'm one of the assistant directors with New Student Family Services, and I'm very excited to welcome you to the student involvement presentation and webinar. We have some great panelists here to help you understand a little bit more about their office and resources available to you. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it over, and hopefully they're able to help you transition smoothly to UNC Charlotte.
Hey, thanks, Naseem. So hi, my name is Adam Burden. I'm a staff member at UNC Charlotte. I'm the director of the Student Involvement Office. And so our session today is going to be some Q&A. We've got 4 student leaders here on campus, so we're going to give them a chance to introduce themselves and share a little bit about their perspective. And then if you have any questions about how to get involved, things that are related to kind of student life on campus, you can use the Q&A function at the bottom of the screen here, and we'll be sure to answer those as they come up. So to get us started, maybe let's go around the screen and have each of you just share a little bit about yourselves and some of the different ways that you're involved on campus. Crystal, would you kick us off?
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Crystal, and I am a senior majoring in health systems management and minoring in public health and communications, and I am currently the president of the Campus Activities Board.
Great. Vince, how about you?
What's up, guys? My name is Charles Graham, but everyone calls me Vince. I'm involved in various student organizations, starting with Lambda Theta Phi Lab Fraternity Incorporated, HCAP, Hispanic College Awareness Program, also part of the Business Honors Program, and also am part of SGA.
Great. Jamila?
Hi, everybody. My name is Jamila. I'm majoring in Spanish and minoring in linguistics and Arabic for my time at UNC Charlotte. I'm a senior. I'm a member of the United Guides organization. I'm part of our executive board as the head of scheduling. I'm also a member of the Heroes in Comic Book Club as its secretary. I was a member of the Campus Activities Board for a few years, and I'm also a part of the Korean Dance and Culture Club. Oh, and I am a student involved.
Great. And Gabby?
Hi, I'm a rising junior, and some of my involvement on campus is I've been a senator the past 2-3 years. I'm an Alpha Chi Omega student ambassador. I'm also on student council. I've been co-director for like the Greek Village leadership team and other like parts of leadership in Greek life. And I'm also a graduate of the Emerging Leaders program in leadership as well.
Great, thank you all. So maybe if you could just talk about, for each of you, your experience, how you first got involved, and then why do you continue to stay involved? What do you get out of your involvement? And we can go in the same order that we introduced ourselves in.
All right, so I got involved my freshman year. I learned about CAB, the Campus Activities Board, and all the other orgs through the Student Org Showcase that we have, and I know it's online this year, so I would highly recommend checking that website out. I also learned a lot through SOAR, just attending all those tables. I was like an event staff my freshman year, kind of just started volunteering at different events. I really liked that. And then I applied to be a program coordinator, and that was really fun, and then everything kind of just evolved from there. But I got involved mostly from like Niner Engage, just looking at flyers for interest meetings and things like that, and just met really new people and just got involved, and it was really great.
So the reason I was kind of involved is because all the experiences I have so far are invaluable in my just scratch that. But so why do I say this? I've made so many connections and relationships with people across campus, and those relationships can last a lifetime. Gabi here, I've known her since the Emerging Leaders program, and that was freshman year, and I'm a junior now, and we still hang out, talk. So like all the relationships you can make through these organizations is like, for me, it's the best thing you can have, because these relationships are not built in a day. They can be built within 4 years, and they can last the rest of your life.
Sorry, trying to unmute myself. So I got involved in my freshman year in the spring semester with the Campus Activities Board as an event staff member because I saw all of the different events that CAB was hosting and I wanted to be a part of it. And I wanted to grow through that organization too. Something else is that I wanted to make more friendships outside of my friend group because my best friend came to UNC Charlotte and I had friends from high school. So I wanted to get more people involved with me. And also, like, I joined the Niner Guide organization because I feel like I love this school a lot and I wanted to do everything that I could to be a part of this school and highlight the school and uplift it. So those are the reasons that I got involved.
For me, I just joined the we went to emerging leaders, and that's one great thing about joining organizations. And so through emerging leaders, I started joining side of organizations. It's like definitely the networking academically. Getting in the sun is like how I got the auto. You, as much as you like put in, you get just as much out. You get the friends, the advisors. Like I go to Adam's office like all the time, just like talk and like about my day and everything. So it's a support system both ways.
Thanks, Gabby. You sounded a little bit like a robot at the start. I think we didn't have your internet connection there, but we got the last bit. Okay, the next question each of you could maybe talk about is, now that you're on campus, how do you continue to find out about things? Where do you go to get information about different clubs to join or different activities that are going on?
Yeah, so I usually, like I mentioned before, I looked at flyers on social media. I follow a lot of accounts on social media. I feel like a lot of organizations here use social media to market their things, and it's a really good way to find out about things. Also, tabling, a lot of orgs table, so I'll go up and just ask, like, what's this? Like, what are you guys doing? And then I also hear a lot about from friends that are in different orgs or just the advisors that I've met that introduced me to different orgs. So those are some of the ways that I keep involved and just staying on top of new things like that.
So obviously word of mouth is good. You'll see like you basically covered everything. Like you'll see flyers all over campus. I think tabling, that's the main reason I was involved. I just walked up to tables and asked questions. I was like, so what is this? What is that? And then it's like that for me, that's how I knew I wanted something and I wanted to be a part of it. And some people may not like tabling. I highly advise to go to tabling events and go visit other organizations, because then and there you can get any questions answered and also find your passion.
Vince is right about word of mouth. I have a diverse friend group, so that really helps me with finding out any events that like I wouldn't know about outside of my interests that I may actually end up be interested in. Also, social media is a big thing. Now that I'm a student involvement ambassador, our Instagram has like over like 3,000 followers, and something that we do to promote other organizations is put their flyers up. So I get access to a lot of student organization flyers before the event happens. So that also helps me find out what I want to get involved in.
I would say everyone pretty much covered it. Niner Engage, like in a nutshell, like tabling is really great. Social media, and just like you'll find often that like one person that's in an organization is most likely in several other organizations. So word of mouth is also really important. Just say that like all organizations are looking for new people. So like if you have any questions, people always want new members, and like people are so welcoming.
Great. Thank you. And I'll put a plug in for some of you talking about word of mouth and social media. One of the things that our office has is an online directory of student organizations' social media accounts. So if you go to studentorgs.uncc.edu, you click on our student orgs social media directory, you can go find every club on campus what their Instagram handle is, what their Twitter handle is, if they have a website, a Facebook page, Snapchat. And so that's a real easy way if you want to start following different groups around campus to kind of build up your feed with things that are happening around campus. Let me ask a question that came in through the chat, and this is open for any of you or multiple of you to answer. Would you say that is it better for first-year students to get involved as much as possible, or is it kind of a slow, more gradual approach, or kind of what is the best way to kind of approach doing too much, not enough early on?
Something a lot of people say at the student organization showcase is try to join something that's like one club that's relevant to your major maybe, and then at least one that's recreational. So of course, like your fall semester, I feel like is your get comfortable with the school time, and there's a bunch of events that you can, you know, get a touch at. There's a lot of tabling, there's a student organization showcase to get to know other clubs. So I like let myself acclimate to school for my fall semester. But spring semester is when I knew about different events, I knew about different clubs, I knew different people, and that's when I started to ease myself in. So first I just let myself be a campus activities board insane person, and then I started joining other stuff in my upcoming years. So
I think you had to balance, like how you said. Generally, I just have the two orgs a semester, and then if I can join more, and if I have the time to join more, that's what I'll do. Like last semester was kind of hectic for me, especially since we got moved online. I figured out that I was doing too much because I was going to sleep at like 1 o'clock, like 1 a.m. I was doing way too much. I had to control everything, and I had to like slim down my schedule, you know, and it's honestly also it depends on your major, because, you know, if you're an engineering major, you're going to spend a lot of time studying, I'm assuming. And there's different variables that come in whenever you're thinking about joining organizations. So it's just up to you and how you want to approach your freshman year. If you want to put a bunch of time into studying, but I also would advise to also get out there and join organizations while also getting right in the books.
Yeah, I agree with both what Vince and Jamila said, but I definitely do think that just trying out like a couple clubs first to see how that is and kind of get used to your schedule, because I feel like a transition to like high school and college is really different because you really have to, you know, hold yourself accountable. You don't have like your parents or anybody to tell you like you need to do this, you need to do that. So I definitely feel like kind of just seeing how your schedule is, get used to it, and then, you know, join a couple clubs, and then like they said, if you can handle more clubs and join more clubs. But I definitely do think like getting involved in at least like one your first semester, your first year is really good because you meet so many new people and just experience a lot of things. Also, I feel like it's better to kind of just put yourself fully into like one or two rather than like stretching yourself thin, because then I feel like you won't be able to, you know, give your best work to like 5 different orgs when you can, you know, kind of put up like your best work in one or two. But I definitely do recommend like getting involved your first year.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that putting 110% into orgs is definitely more important than putting like 50% into like several, because I think one thing you'll find most often is like freshmen join like a billion because they're like, oh my goodness, I want to do this and this and this and this, which is good. I think you should get that experience, but not every org is going to be for you. So you can be okay with saying no and not like stretching yourself too thin.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the unique circumstances that fall semester is going to be that may have been different than previous years, right? So right now we have kind of a more limited capacity on in-person meetings, and things will be more virtual. So can each of you share maybe what some of your student groups are talking about doing that may be a little bit different for the fall related to kind of social distancing and COVID and virtual engagement than you have in the past?
Yes, so sorry, Jamila, I just saw you on mute.
No, you're fine.
For the campus activities board, I know this year we're doing, or at least next semester, we're kind of doing a mixture of both. We're doing some virtual engagement things, so online. If you guys follow our Instagram, it's CAB UNC Charlotte. We're going to do a lot of, we have a lot of events on our Instagram, like virtual events. And then we're having drop-in events, kind of like a grab and go thing. And that's where we'll only have like, we'll obviously social distance. And if it's like in a room, we're only supposed to have a certain amount of people in there. So we'll be like really mindful of that, but just like coming and grabbing things. And then we're doing some in-person events that will be like social distancing and like outside. Like I know we're doing drive-in movies. So those are just a few ways how things are changing for us. But yeah, definitely follow our Instagram so you can do all the virtual events if you're all online.
The Niner Guides organization is doing its best. That's probably the one where we're doing our best to social distance the most. We have a group of almost 100 students to do tours, and we're like integral to undergraduate admissions. So some things that we're doing is like virtual options for tours. We're decreasing our tour guest amount by a lot. We're buying new technology to make sure that while we're wearing our masks, we'll still be heard. So there's a lot of different things to do because that's an organization with a bigger budget. But to go into like Heroes and Comic Book Club, which is a regular student organization and small things that we're doing, for one, to be honest, we have a small group anyway. So it's really easy to social distance. We have we chose a large lecture hall for our meetings every week. So it's not going to be difficult to make sure everybody has space in between each other. Our primary thing is to do presentations about what we want to talk about in the week, so it's not a whole lot of activity. And this year we wanted to do a lot of fundraiser stuff, so now we're going to start talking about how we can do so more in an online aspect, or how we can social distance if we do something in the public.
So I know my fraternity, we're doing all online events. And then the council I'm a part of, we're trying to both incorporate in-person events while also maintaining social distancing and virtual events. Like we're going to do, like as a council, we're about to do a Netflix party just to like get close to each other. And then as an in-person event, an example I can give you is we're planning to bring a dunk tank on campus. So the way that'll work, obviously, the person throwing the ball is going to be more than 6 feet away. And then you have one person in the dunk tank, and then you have one person like 5 feet away just watching over it. So that's an example I can give you right now. As for how we're going to go about in that aspect, SGA wise, I don't have an answer for you. I'm assuming. I know we're doing virtual meetings. I do not know about events yet.
One thing for us is part of Greek life. I know that everything is going to be completely virtual regarding like recruitment, but like our events kind of plan. And can you guys hear me okay? Regarding like my other organizations, we're kind of looking to do like more hybrid things. Like we'll have some things in person with safety, like it's obviously like our number one priority. So it'll just be like mostly social distancing, holding more events outside, having like capacities in like the houses or wherever our events are being held. So everyone's pretty much covered it. It's going to be definitely a learning curve for all of us.
Yeah, I would just add, particularly for those of you that are going to have more online classes or aren't living on campus, I would definitely encourage you to hone in on your Zoom skills about just being outgoing and tune into a lot of different meetings. I know most student group meetings are going to have to be online just because there's not enough places on campus for the typical size of groups. So, follow those social media accounts, follow the groups, and jump in and do those things, and don't be afraid to just kind of be outgoing and talk to people as you're doing that. Another question let me pose to you all. If someone wasn't really involved in high school but wants to start that, what are some good groups to start off with? What would you recommend as some good organizations to check out starting off?
The Campus Activities Board. Hands down, that's for one, it's a really easy, I should let Crystal talk about this, but it's a really easy organization to join as an event staff member. Like, it's not some huge commitment. Like, it's not, like certain things are mandatory or you can't be a part of it. It's just go to your training at the beginning of the semester, and then it's enjoy yourself, come to the events and like help to support them. It's really fun. You get to meet a lot of people. Sometimes celebrities will come out and you get to talk to them and stuff like that. Also, you become like the face of events at UNC Charlotte. That's really awesome. So like a lot of people know me and they don't know my name, but they've seen me at events and stuff like that, and that's really exciting for me. So I would definitely, like, if you're a people person, I would definitely ease yourself into the campus activities board.
Yeah, sorry, my Wi-Fi cut off, so if I left, that was why. But yeah, like Jamila said, campus activities board is great. It's not like a huge commitment, because for us, it's kind of like if you're available, you can come and help us. And we have a lot of like professional development. So at our event staff meetings, it'll probably be online this year, but we do a lot of professional development. So learning how to be like public speaking or like risk management and like all this other stuff. So it's really good for first year, I feel like, because I just feel like it's helped me a lot professionally. And yeah, it's not a big, huge time commitment. We literally will take whatever help we can get whenever, and it's really fun. We're like a family, and it's great. But yeah.
So I'm gonna say SGA because that's how I got started. So SGA, we're a group of like it's a big group. So when I came in, though, I think we're 20 senators, and then you have your executive, and then you have judicial, and that's where you get to choose. Do you want to be in legislative, executive, or judicial? So I was in legislative when I first started out, and now I'm in executive. And I just have made so many friends. And then through SGA, I've made connections to other organizations. So not only are you in SGA as an organization, you can make connections to other organizations. And I did that because I was the organizational ways and means chair at the time. And I was already like talking to other organizations and receiving emails and them asking about events in general. So that's how I made contact with other organizations. Was that the question? I don't know if I stayed on topic. I hope I did. I guess I did.
I'll definitely go off of that. I think SGA is also like a great opportunity because you get to work with like people across campus, and like especially if you're first year, like you don't really know like what campus is about, who the people on campus are, anything. You get to work with a lot of professional staff. Also, like freshman year programs too, like emerging leaders definitely helped me to like go through or like go through a program where we were all freshmen to like student organizations.
Great, thank you. I want to address a question that came in earlier. You know, we've talked a lot about student groups, but there are other ways to get involved just besides joining student orgs, right? So if you live on campus, you might be able to get involved in your residence hall association. There's intramural sports. If you are into community service and volunteering, there will still be ways to do that even in a socially distanced way here on campus. And that's part of our leadership and community engagement office. They have a whole website of different ways to connect with those opportunities. So it's not just about joining clubs, although that's certainly a great mechanism, but there are other ways just to be generally involved. Even in your academic classes, you'll meet friends through your classes and just form friend groups that you may realize you have something in common with those people, and just have social connections through classes. One question that came in is, for those of you involved in Greek life, can you speak a little bit more about Greek life? What's the timeline to join? What are some of the benefits that you found from being involved in Greek life?
So I'm a part, as I said, of Lambda Theta Phi Latin Fraternity Incorporated. And honestly, when I came to college, I was like, I'm not going to do Greek. I'm just not. That wasn't my type of thing. But then I was approached by like a few guys, and actually one of my friends, he kind of talked me into it. So we were kind of going through it together, and it's honestly, it changed my college experience, and it was for the better. And I've noticed a change in myself. Like I became a better person through a fraternity, I guess you could say. But we have certain values that we hold high, and like one that mostly people know about Lambdas is we're chivalrous, or we try to be. Um, and it's like a brotherhood that you just can't really find anywhere. You know, it's something different. It's not just you're just around a group of guys. I know I have my high school homies, you know, that I love them to death. But then in a short amount of time, I grew really close to all these guys in a short amount of time. And it took me a while to like make my high school homies like have that close bond. But in college, it took a semester or 2 semesters to get this close bond with these group of guys. And I mean, I think everyone should go Greek. I highly recommend it. It's an amazing experience. You're gonna make tons of friends, and you also get to know people through your like brothers or sisters or whatever fraternity or sorority you join.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Regarding timelines, I know every council and like organization is a little bit different. So I would say for fall, like they typically have within like their first month to like register and like go ahead and get ready for like recruitment. But joining Greek was probably one of the best things that I've ever done. You have a huge support system for one. You get to know so many people, and like networking wise, it's an amazing opportunity. Like the internship that I have now was one that I got from like an alumni, and so you get to work really closely hand in hand with like community service, like depending on like what your philanthropy might be, like you get to support other organizations, what they're doing, raise a lot of money. It's just like a great atmosphere, and you get to proliferate like your development skills and leadership and like other things academically too. Like there's so many opportunities. I highly recommend it, especially if you're coming in as a first year person, you don't really know a lot of people. It's a great way to kind of just like go ahead and like jumpstart getting to know like a huge group of people and like putting yourself out there.
And I'll just talk, I think on Flipgrid, I don't know if you guys have been there. They have your fraternities and sororities section to go check that out. So you can go check that out, and there's all our fraternities and sororities, and they submitted videos.
Thanks, Vince. So yeah, that first link that I put in the chat, the studentorgs.uncc.edu/showcase, that's the Flipgrid videos. And then the second one is our online searchable directory. And just to kind of expand on that point, every student organization has different timelines and requirements to join. And so some groups, you know, they might have an interest meeting in the first week or two. Some, you might have an application, an interview process. Some might, you know, you might need a semester on campus before you are able to join. So every group is a little bit different with the requirements. So I would say check out each specific one, either on the Niner Engage directory or through their Flipgrid video, and they'll tell you exactly what the process is for joining, when their first interest meeting is. And a lot of those will happen during you know, the Gold Rush week or these first couple weeks of school. All right, while we're waiting for any other questions to come in, let me ask each of you. I know Jamila had to jump off here. So what has been your favorite memory or experience so far from being involved on campus?
I have so many great memories, but I think one of my favorites is probably, I love planning events and just like the whole process of everything, but I think one of my favorites is probably planning like all the concerts. One of my favorites probably the Ari Lennox concert, and I actually got to meet her, which was really cool. But that's one of my favorite memories. It was just so fun. The concert, like it was just great. Like we were at the side of the stage and everything. And it was just, I just love the event planning process and doing everything. So that was one of my favorite memories. But I have a lot, but I won't have time to share all those.
So one of my favorite, so one of my favorite memories is during the Emerging Leaders program. We went on a retreat. I forgot where. Gabi went, so hopefully she remembers. But we went to this camp like 40 minutes away from Charlotte, and we spent 2 days there. And it was like it was a bonding experience because we were freshmen. We just came in. We didn't really know like everyone to like we weren't besties, and just in that weekend we instantly got close. It was like 50 people, I think 50, 60 people, and that weekend really brought us together. We just bonded. I personally like every retreat, every organization goes on. I know Student Ambassador does one, CAB does one, SGA does one, and those are experiences that you can like keep forever because you'll end up getting closer, hopefully, to each one of your members.
My favorite memory Vince took my mind was leadership. It was this program that we went to over the summer. It was like about a week long. Crystal was there. And so basically it was just where we're pulling student leaders from different organizations, so people from SGA, people from the student union, like for like UREP and everybody was there. So it was like different affinities that I haven't really met on campus before. So we really got to bond, and like I became best friends with, I'm pretty sure, like everyone there. And it was like really amazing to get to see like what they go through, like what their organizations are about. And it was just really amazing to just like go somewhere. I think we went to like Crowder's Ridge or Crowder's Point, like a camp around there. And it was just like a really great experience to like get to know everybody. And I highly recommend it if you get the chance.
Great, thank you. Well, again, if anybody has any other questions that you want to ask, feel free to type those in at the bottom. My last question for each of you is I know you've been kind of responding to questions, but if you could just give some of your own personal advice to our incoming students, what would that advice be?
My advice would probably be just to step outside your box, I guess. I know a lot of times, at least my first year, I was like super nervous to join orgs. And like, I was like, I didn't really want to do orgs that like my friends didn't want to do. But at the same time, like, you're not going to like everything that your friends wants to join. And it's always good to, you know, kind of look out for what you want to do. But definitely just step out of your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to talk to people. I feel like everybody here is super nice, especially in the student involvement and just student orgs. We're always here to help. And then definitely, since everything's kind of more online and virtual, I like highly encourage you all to still, you know, utilize the Flipgrid website, the links that Adam shared, and like just looking on social media and just getting involved. Even though it's online, it might be different, but I still think that every org is still doing their best to kind of make everything, you know, the new normal and getting everybody involved. So I just highly recommend just staying on top of, like, you know, getting involved even though everything's online, and just step out of your comfort zone.
Like Crystal said, like step out of your comfort zone. I know when I came in, I was more of an introvert. I'm an extrovert now. I'll go up and talk to anyone basically. And that's what orgs can like kind of help you with, I guess, because you're stepping out of your comfort zone. You're gonna go talk to more people. The more you talk to more people, you're just gonna end up doing that on the daily. Like you'll see friends crossing, what's the bridge called? I get the bridge between the Union and I forgot the whole name, but you'll talk to your friends every time you see them, and just be yourself. Like be the person you want yourself to be. Don't try to be somebody else.
I love this question.
Gabi, I think we lost your connection here.
I always preach that you only get organizations, then that's exactly what they're going to use. And so, can you hear me okay? Okay. So I honestly just, it's okay to step out of your comfort zone. Like those first meetings are always so uncomfortable when you're going in for like interest meetings, but like the good news is like they want you there. Like there's people going through the same thing that you are. So
Great. I think my advice is just to kind of embrace how weird it's going to seem to be on campus, right? You're going to walk around and see everybody kind of wearing a mask and trying to be a little bit more intentional about staying 6 feet away, but none of us have ever experienced that before. And so it certainly adds another layer of maybe nervousness to, well, how am I going to meet people or, get involved and succeed? College is hard enough on top of all these things that we're doing with COVID, but nobody's done this before. And so we're all trying to figure it out. And I think the more grace and just understanding and adaptability that we can give each other. I can tell all of you that students that are on campus right now, they want to meet you. They want you to join their organizations and they want to be friends with you. So if you're willing to go out and be engaged with them, they will welcome you in and want to get to know you. Another question that came in, I don't know that this applies for any of you, but any advice or tips for transfer students if you have other friends who transferred in, maybe didn't start in coming in from high school? Do you have any suggestions for transfer students?
I'm not a transfer student, but I know a couple people in my org, they were transfer students, and they always tell me like getting involved was like one of the big things that helped them, meet new people on campus and like feel like UNC Charlotte is home. So I think getting involved, I mean, I feel like we've been saying that, but definitely just, go on our social medias, go on Niner Engage, look at all the orgs that we have and just find something that you're interested in, and don't be afraid to just, join and ask, how do I join this? And also don't be afraid to like speak to people. We're all nice here, like I said, and yeah, I mean, that's all I've heard. I'm not a transfer student, but that's just the people that I knew that were transfer students. They said getting involved in like different orgs and CAB was just like really good for them, and it helped them like, learn new resources. Also, I feel like getting involved, you learn a lot about different resources on campus. But yeah.
So my roommate was a transfer student my freshman year, and he told me getting involved as well. He joined the fencing club because he liked fencing. So honestly, just find something you like and go do it. That's what I would have to tell you. And I'm not a transfer student. I came in my freshman year.
And I do want to be sure to emphasize that, we're really trying on campus to have a good balance of following all the safety protocols while not having 100% online experience, right? I mean, we're all trying to be back in person. I know some people have a few online classes or hybrid, but we will be having people walking around on campus. There will be events, there will be opportunities to socialize. It'll probably just be in smaller groups or smaller pods of people. Then we might have these, we won't have these large kind of campus-wide events, but you can still be in groups of 10 right now. If we move to phase 3, those capacities will increase. And so there will be opportunities to engage with people in person, and it won't be 100% move to just a virtual college experience. Great. Well, I think those are all the questions that have come in. So if everybody's good, then I think we'll just wrap it up and call it a day. And we can turn things back over to Nasim. Vince, Crystal, would you like to shout out how people can either follow orgs that you're in or yourselves individually?
Yeah, so you guys can follow the Campus Activities Board on Twitter and Instagram is what we use mostly. It's CAB, @CAB UNC Charlotte. Definitely follow us. We'll post like when the interest meetings are and how to get involved, things like that. And just, if you don't even want to join our org, you can always just, participate in our events that we have. But definitely check us out, DM us if you have any questions, because we will definitely answer you. Or you can email us at cab@uncc.edu. Yeah.
So I know UNCC SGA, most organizations generally run on Instagram. So you have UNCC SGA, and then you have UNCC SA, and I'm a student ambassador. I forgot to mention that. And somebody, Jamila, shouted out UNCC student involvement. So that's also a great opportunity just to DM that account. And you can probably tell that person, I'm interested in this, and they'll have an answer for you just like that. So that's also a great opportunity. We have I'm going to go ahead and talk about all the Greek councils. You have UNCC PHA, I think, NPHC, IFC, and DGC. You just type in UNCC and whatever their council's called.
Great. Thanks. All right.
All right, thank you so much, Adam. I really appreciate it. Thank you to all our panelists that have been here today. So make sure that you follow them through the different social medias and go through their websites that I talked about to make sure that your student and yourself as well get involved, whether the families or students are on this webinar. Lastly, I just want to plug in Niner Destination app that also has information about involvement on there. So go ahead and download that. It's helpful. But there's many ways to get involved at UNC Charlotte, and I hope you take advantage of that. But we have some other webinars later today. You're more than welcome to join those, but if you have any questions, please feel free to use the contact information provided, and thank you so much for coming. Bye, everyone.